Chinese President Xi's 93 billion personal megacity remains empty, while Dan Clancy's personal megacity remains full to the brim. Coincidence?
Welcome to Xiongan, the mega project that Chinese leader Xi Jinping has staked his legacy on. Located 60 miles outside Beijing, Xiongan is designed to ease pressure on the overcrowded and congested Chinese capital of more than 20 million people.
All of this was cornfields and swamp. Today, it is a metropolis being built from scratch with a whopping price tag of...
This is exactly how Dan Clancy did it, by the way. This is exactly how he did it, dude. He paved people's homes. My grandma lost her home so that Dan Clancy could have a highway in the middle of Clancy. This is the Clancy playbook to a T. He bulldozed my house last week. Yeah, I'm sure plenty of you have friends, family, relatives who lost houses in Dan Clancy's insatiable lust for land. He's a madman. He's an insane bureaucrat that constantly needs to expand his fiefdom. Make a Dan Clancy sad country song. I do want to generate that in the background. I'm sorry, but that just needs to exist. Oh my God, it's testing if I'm a robot before I can do this. Can I just say something? Can I say something that I want to be loud and proud about? Captchas are getting too hard. It's not, okay, hard is probably the wrong word if I'm trying to be fucking specific and literal. It's not that they're unsolvable, it's that there's too many steps now. Like there's a minimum of 2, even if you get it right now. It's tedious, it's annoying. I have to like lock in. I'm trying to click to the thing I want to do. Not gonna lie, I fail them a lot. Also, I'll admit it. If you're gonna admit it, I'll admit it. I have failed one. I failed the one locking into League of Legends and it locked me out. It was like, pick all the pictures that match the theme. And it was like food, but one of them looked like a kitchen. So I picked the kitchen, but the kitchen was, you know, it's like, how do I define theme? What do you want me to fucking, it's annoying, dude. It's annoying. Kind of annoying as getting your house taken by Dan Clancy.
The sun once shone on fields of green. Now shadows fall where dreams have been. My old farm's gone, it's out of hand, stolen by a rich man's brand.
Tell me who?
The barn stood tall, the crops were high, but now they're lost under the sky.
To who?
Dan Clancy came with a cold hard plan and took away my family's land.
He did!
Gone with the land, the earth, and the trees.
Oh, fucking Dan Clancy. You'll never have ad rolls again, dude. I haven't had them in months. Dude. Ever since I started talking about this town. Ever since I started bringing up the town, dude, I've been fucking ad free. But it's worth it to fucking send a message about my grandmother's land.
You can just feel being here that no expense has been spared to build this into what they're hoping is going to be a socialist modern metropolis.
Okay.
Across the city, signs and billboards promote quotes from China's most powerful leader in decades.
Basically what it says is that everyone should persist without giving up in using Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era to unite our hearts and forge our spirits.
Doesn't really full off the
Something along
tongue,
those
Xi.
lines.
But I will say it's better than the quote in Clancyville. Which is about how H-Rock's a piece of shit and doesn't deserve ads. That's the type of shit you see on the walls in Clancyville, dude. It's comply or die, Dirty Dan. Dirty Dan. Dan Clan G. That's pretty, dude. Can someone make that emote? Well, I'm gonna get banned for real. Dan Clancy on a Xi Jinping body with like the emote. Dan Clan G, that's incredible. But don't make it for my channel. Make it for the world. Don't make him look Asian either. That'd be racist. There's more of like a communist background or something.
But unlike Shenzhen's disorderly and sprawling growth, the new city of Xiongan is meticulously planned, with limits on which companies are welcome here, including the tech and space sectors, which are actively encouraged to move into Xiongan.
Hey, Quack, are you still here? If we get a permit, if we get to become one of the lucky companies, will you move to Beijing, the outskirts of Beijing? I'm thinking we set up a an office complex right here. It's you, it's Adish, it's Eric Sinchi.
But while Shenzhen grew as China opened to a deluge of Western investment, Xiongan is being built as China faces the headwinds of decoupling from the West, an economic slowdown, and declining population growth.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Despite these concerns, authorities...
The population growth is the one that I think is the biggest issue here. I feel like, you know, if you build it eventually, if it's in a good spot and has economic activity, people will eventually move. And then, you know, once you hit a critical mass and it becomes a hub, then everyone wants to move there. But declining population could be a problem.
But whether this still largely empty construction site evolves into a shining metropolis of the socialist future or a failed vanity project remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen. Big A, have you seen Chongqing at night? It looks like it's from the future. I'm going. That's my plan. I live in Scandinavia. Oh, that reminds me of a big topic. Okay, well, I want to talk about this. Scandinavians. This topic's called Scandinavia, you self-righteous pricks. Okay? And it is about the recently released Corruption Perception Index that yet again, for like the 20th year straight, has Denmark and Finland and Sweden in the top 10 of the least corrupt. Look at you guys. 80 out of 100. We're not corrupt. Get over yourself. A little corruption makes the world go round, by the way. How do we know the list is not corrupted? Well, that's the cool thing. This doesn't measure corruption. That's impossible to truly measure. Real corruption isn't trackable, right? What this measures is the average person's perception of how corrupt their country has gotten. Because once you believe the country to be corrupt, then it usually becomes corrupt even if it wasn't. Because everyone feels like they have to bribe to get ahead. And people in Scandinavia trust each other and their government, which is rare. It's a small bastion. There isn't that much left. Japan, I want to look at the past. So America is currently at 65, and I want to know, can we go back to let's go to 95 and see where we landed. Oh, it doesn't have a map, huh? Well, we were ranked 15 back then with a 7.79. Well, instead of 15, we're now what? 65? 28. Yeah, it's just been slowly declining. People are just slowly feeling that the country's more corrupt. Now we're at 69. No, last year was 69. That's nice. But this goes even farther back. I think it was higher. Like if you go back to the 90s, I think it was pretty high. But what I noticed is Denmark's getting less corrupt. Denmark's had a post-COVID bump. People trust the government more? That's crazy. And that's why I just want to say you, Scandinavia. All of you guys. You're so. And Norway's up here. New Zealand. Oh, New Zealand's interesting. New Zealand was like top tier. 91 would be first place this year. And then it's been declining. Any New Zealanders want to comment? This is actually a pretty big fall off there. There's a 10-point swing in 10 years. It's like that. It just feels like, I mean, obviously there's still incredibly high trust, but like a 10-point swing in 10 years is pretty bad. China, still relatively bad, right? But since 2014, when their score was 36 to I guess 43 now, it's pretty steady rise. Not a massive rise, but a steady rise since 2014. What about Poland? I know Poland's been like making a lot of changes and having economic growth. A positive trend in Poland. Nope. Nope. Poland peaked in 2015. Another 10-point drop. I want to know Ukraine. Ukraine? Is it down? Who's the bottom? South Sudan. 180 out of 180. Oh my God. Insane fall off even in 1 year. South Sudan, extremely corrupt according to its own citizens. Somalia, Venezuela. Dude, Venezuela. I mean, Venezuela just had a stolen election, so I would assume the people aren't super happy. Check Peru, we're going to shit. Oof, brother. Peru is ranked 127, near the bottom, and had a steep fall off in 2 years. Argentina at rank 99, I guess relatively flat under the recent new change. It didn't have a big spike, but fell off since 2019. They had a 2015 to 2019 bump. People were getting more and more trusting, and then COVID destroyed it. El Salvador. Oof. No. No. El Salvador, no good. Oh, no, dude. Canada also. I mean, 80s was good. I mean, they're scoring in 84 in 2012, 83 in 2015. Now they're in the 70s. It's a fall off, but they're still way better than the average country. There's not many like positive trending. Luxembourg, like, is any country at its peak of trust? Every country, even the green ones, are down from 2014, 2015. Well, I guess Denmark is like the only. Australia's, I guess, headed in the right direction. South Korea, Really? South Korea is in a positive direction. This is before the martial law. I mean, I don't know when the study was done. I don't know when they interviewed. I mean, it could be that like South Korea is, yeah, extremely polarized. They're having a gender war. They're mad at each other, but they don't believe it's corrupt. I mean, corruption is like a specific thing. Corruption is like the idea that like the only way you can get ahead is by bribing or knowing someone or having a connection. Like there's no way for you to get ahead on your own merit. Well, Greece should be up. Greece, we've talked about this, is having like a surprising moment. Greece is kind of written off after their debt crisis and everyone in Europe clowned on them. And now they're sort of in a positive direction. They got their shit somewhat in order. They're ranked 59. I think Greece, wait, is Greece above America? Greece walked so America could fly. What does that mean? What? How would you even draw a connection there? How did Greece walk so America could fly? You mean democracy? You mean ancient Greece walked with the idea of democracy so America could fly? I see what you're saying. That's really powerful. Now that you've made the connection, that's actually really powerful. You've drawn like a through line from earliest ideas of democracy to our modern day state. That's like a discussion point.